Hi, I'm Lenny, one of the partners here at Carolina Land Buyers. We're typically doing about 8 to 10 land closings a month, and we're looking to do a lot more so that we can provide value to landowners in the state of North Carolina that are interested or have been looking to sell. So today I want to do a case study on a recent closing that we had in Gastonia, North Carolina. This story starts with a gentleman who lived out of state. He actually lived in South Carolina, and he owned a couple properties that were all next to each other in Gastonia. They actually used to contain an old family business, used to run off of these lots way back in the day. Unfortunately, after years, the family did not continue the business, and eventually the store that was on there was demolished by the city, and so these lots now sat there vacant. So he had a few problems going on, one being the only one in the family that was looking after and taking care and responsible legally for these lots. So one, the burden of the taxes. Two, there was a demolition lien from the city that was never cleared up. So he had liens and back taxes on the property, and he had no means. He was retired at his age to go up there and stay up to date with and maintain the lot physically. So these were looming over him for a few years. He just was getting calls by people, and nothing was coming through as far as, settling out a deal with any land buyers in the area. He just couldn't get anybody to commit and get to the closing table. Timing was right. We ended up getting a hold of him, and we sent him a postcard in the mail, made him a preliminary offer on it, and he was excited about the number. We had a great conversation, opening call with him. Really got to understand the backstory first and foremost, and his current issues with it, so that we felt really good when we took this back to underwriting, that we would get this offer right. Not only just the price. What people don't realize is that there's a lot of aspects with a real estate transaction, even for land. We need to make sure that the timeline works for everybody, that financially it makes sense for us, given the situation where he had liens and back taxes, on top of making sure we gave him a fair price after we thoroughly did our diligence and assessed the land in its current state. So we wanted to make sure, one, we got it right for everybody, because if we're going to move forward, there's a huge financial risk and commitment on everybody's end, really. So we wanted to make sure that we educated him either way, even if we weren't going to be a good fit for him. Wanted to make sure that, given he was out of state, and the only one that was caring for these lots, some education. But the good news is we ended up working everything out, sticking with him and some of the problems that he had, and his desired and dream outcome for this was just work with a company that could handle some of the issues that he had with it, and let him walk away with a price that, after all these years of trying to pay the taxes and managing and dealing with the lot, that he felt was a right price at this point in time for him to let them go and sell them, especially after being in the family for this long. It had to be an all-around good feeling, to really get this to the closing line. And we're pretty proud of this one, and pretty happy with the results. The main thing with this situation and this seller, we were able to pay off all of his back taxes. So we worked that into the final sales price and the settlement statement, which is basically the itemized line by line sheet that you'll see at closing if you sell a property, listing out all the costs, or monies, proceeds going to either the seller, the buyer. So it lists everything. So on there, on our side as the buyer, it lists that we were going to pay all of his back taxes, along with giving him the purchase price that we all agreed to. We were able to actually clear the demolition lien from the city. So we worked with the city, and we're able to work that out where we'd pay off the demolition lien and get that lien cleared from him and the property. So we got those two burdens off of his plate at the close of these pieces of land. And we also combined, he had a total of 3 parcels. We combined all of this together for one closing, all to happen at once, so there was no back and forth. Get it all done in one day, make it easy. So we were able to get all of these things packed in the one day. He actually wanted to come up to, closing. He lived in South Carolina, wasn't too far of a drive. So, we were able to provide him, the local office in Gastonia. He was originally from there, so that was pretty cool. He wanted to come back into town. So one of our law offices we work with is in the city of Gastonia. So he actually got to make a trip back, eat at his favorite restaurant after as a little celebration. But he drove in, attended the closing, signed the closing documents. The attorney at the law firm was able to get it recorded that same day. And he opted to get a certified check, to walk out of there with a certified check for his proceeds. So he was able to walk out of there after everything was recorded with the county, for Gaston County, with the certified check, eat at his favorite restaurant, visit his hometown, and I think he had a pretty big smile on his face. So really cool story. It was not an easy one. There was a lot of work on the title side, helping to clear off his liens and back taxes and making sure the numbers penciled, and just coordinating. There was multiple parties between the city, the county, him, the law firm, title work, us, but we were able to pack all this in, get it all done in one day. And most importantly, he got his money and his favorite meal. Wanted to share that with everybody. But if you enjoyed this story, this case study here, and want to hear more, go check out all the other videos in the library. Hopefully you learned something about selling land if you're thinking about it, especially in the state of North Carolina. And we'll talk soon. So until next time, take care.